Hi, this is Gary at Webdesign. This is an instructional video showing how to create two of the graphic effects used in our Project 5 RapidWeaver project. The first is the overlaid text used in the top images on the first three pages. You'll note there's some text, large text, which looks like it is sort of floating behind part of the image and gives a sort of 3D effect. It's achieved by using a mask technique. There's two real parts of it. First, you need to find a suitable image to go behind it, and then you need to create the text. Now, a suitable image is an image like the one I have here. It should have a sort of central solid image. If that image has got straight lines, that's better. It's better to be 90 degrees across the image rather than being at an angle, because it's more effective. And I could use some other images. I'll show you one here. This would be a very suitable image, but the outline, if we were to put the text behind this guy, the outline of this guy and his jacket is sort of slightly, or more than slightly, it doesn't have any straight lines. So an image with straight lines would be better. This will work, but it'll take you a bit longer. This is a better image. If you were to put some text behind this lolly, then it's got relatively straight lines here. It'd be easier to do. If you look at another image, this is a fantastic image to be able to put some text behind, but it's doable, but it's going to take you a lot of work. And I would say this is a bit too difficult. You'd really need to mask out all of the girl's hair here and the bangles and the complicated shapes of her arms, that sort of thing. So we'll go back to this demo picture, and I will show you what you need to do. Once you see it, it's not too difficult. Many of you may already know how to do this. But the first thing we want to do is to put some text in here. And I'm going to use the word contact. I've got it in some large text there. And I'm going to put it centrally. I'm going to move it slightly over, actually. There we are. So now you see there are parts of this image which we need to remove. So we need to just chop off the bottom right hand corner of the N and chop off the bottom of this T at an angle. I'm going to change the colour there because I want it to be white. And to make things easier, I'm going to reduce the opacity. Actually, I'm going to do that later. So the package I'm using here is Autodesk Graphic. You could use Illustrator, Affinity Designer. There's quite a few, but this one is quite good. The first thing I'm going to do here is convert the text to outlines. So I need to go to Modify, Convert Text to Outlines. And now each one of these is now a distinct vector image. So one by one, we can adjust these. Now to make these easier, I'm going to reduce the opacity of that N and also the T, because it means I can see through it. Then I need to zoom in on each one, and I'm going to go into about 200. Yeah, that's fine. So you can see that I need to chop off the T here. The way I will do that is to use the eraser tool, and I've set it on a small circle of 4, and you basically just drag across it. So if I drag across that, I've now separated the bottom of the T. I'm now going to select the N, and I'm going to do the same thing again. You don't have to be that accurate. See, I'm all over the place there. Doesn't matter. And then I can select that and remove it. Similarly, I can select that one and remove it. But that's not good enough. If you look closer, if we zoom in a little bit more, we have a look at the T here. It's not very good. So what you can do is you select the pen tool and remove nodes. And each one of these little blue dots is a node. I've removed those two, and there's only one node on the end of each. If I then go back to the node tool, I can just move that up to the top of the roof, and this one too. You've got to make sure you don't distort the image too much. And these little handles which come out, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If you're used to it, you'll know why. But if you line them up, you'll get a straight line. And that needs to be just moved up a fraction. There we are, that's done. Let's do the same on this one. We'll just remove a couple of those nodes. That's great. Go back and edit it now. That wants to go up. About there. This one, you want to kind of pull it across, because you don't want to distort the image. And again, we're going to play with these handles to just line everything up. If you don't know how to use these, worth looking it up. Very useful technique. Now, there we go. I've now done that, and if I go back to my main image, I can increase the opacity back to where it was, and there we have. So now it looks like that text is behind it. Now you should create, what I should have said at the beginning is to make a large version of this. The one I've got is 2560 in width. Keep a copy of that as a background, and then the next stage here is to just delete that background. Then make sure the background of this image is transparent, and then save this one with the text as your overlay image. Now there's two more steps. You need to create a smaller version, and I would suggest you create, say, 1000 wide versions of the background image with the jetty on the lake, and you create a 1000 wide version of this PNG. Important to save this one as a PNG because you have to preserve the transparency. Then you've got your images to use inside the Project 5, and obviously you can put whatever text you want there. Choose the image wisely, and the effect will look good. And then the second part of the images that you may need to create in Project 5 are the drop cap images. You'll see at the start of some of the paragraphs there's a drop cap, and I've created a simple image here. It's 72 pixels by 72 pixels, so it's a square image, and you can set the color you want to whatever you want to do. And then I will add a character. So let's say I want to put a T in there, and that's obviously a huge T. I've just got to make it fit. So I'm going to come down to something that I think will fit. Yeah, that'll fit. I could make it smaller, doesn't matter. If I wanted to make it grey or white, that would work. So now I would save one of these, make sure it's central, save one of these as a T, and once you work out what drop caps you need, you could even go as far as making all 26 of the letters. Save them in the foreground and the background color, and they can be used in Project 5 as the drop caps in all the paragraphs. Okay, I hope that was useful, and if you have any questions, please just email them in. Thanks.